She called me obsessed. That was her word for it. She was standing in the doorway to the garage, arms crossed, with that look on her face. You know the one. The look that says, "We need to talk," but really means, "You need to listen while I list all your failures." I had my back to her, polishing a piece of chrome on the engine. To be fair, I'd been out there for a while. The sun was long gone. "It's just a machine," she said, her voice tight. I didn't turn around, just kept polishing. "It's a machine you love more than me." I stopped, put the rag down. The silence in that garage was heavier than a fully loaded Goldwing. I wanted to say the smart thing, the right thing. "Of course not, honey. You're my world." But the words got stuck. Because in that moment, staring at my own reflection in that flawless chrome, I wasn't 100% sure I wouldn't be lying. If you've ever been caught between the one you love and the machine you live for, you're not alone. Share a comment if you've had that same garage conversation, or barely dodged it. And hit that like button if polishing chrome has ever felt more important than small talk. I drop new videos every week, so don't forget to subscribe so you never miss them. But today, I've got 11 brutally honest reasons why my motorcycle comes before my wife. So let's get rolling. Reason 1, the sense of freedom. Absolute, unfiltered freedom. That's what the motorcycle gives me. The second I twist the throttle, it's like the rest of the world gets put on mute. Deadlines, gone, guilt trips, faded, to-do lists, blown away like dust in the wind. Out there, it's just me, the rumble beneath me, the wind on my chest, and the open road stretching out like a promise. When my wife and I plan a getaway, it's a production. Weeks of calendars, price comparisons, hotel reviews, arguments over whether we need 3 pairs of shoes or 6. By the time we reach the beige hotel filled with other exhausted beige couples, I'm already counting the hours until it's over. The only real escape I made was from our shared Google Doc itinerary. But the bike? It's pure, immediate liberation. I don't need permission or prep time. I just walk into the garage, throw my leg over the saddle, and 10 seconds later, I'm rolling towards peace. That ignition switch doesn't just start the engine, it shuts down the noise in my head. The road doesn't ask questions. It doesn't care if I forgot the milk or didn't RSVP to her sister's baby shower. It just lets me be. My wife once said the bike is just my way of avoiding reality. Maybe she's right, but in my defense, her version of reality involves a lot of scented candles, group chats, and endless conversations about kitchen backsplash tiles. I need something that drowns all that out. The motorcycle isn't just a ride, it's therapy. It's how I reset, how I reclaim the parts of me that get buried under responsibilities, expectations, and passive-aggressive dinner conversations. It's not about running away, it's about finally feeling free. Reason 2, adventure and exploration. Real, messy, unscripted adventure. That's what riding gives me. To my wife, adventure means going to a restaurant where the food comes on oversized plates but in undersized portions, or hiking a trail that's already been reviewed, mapped, and posted on Instagram by 4,000 people. We show up, follow the route, check it off the list, and drive home in time for her to water the plants. It's not adventure, it's performance. Curated, filtered, and scheduled. On the bike, though, every single ride has potential. A wrong turn isn't a setback, it's an invitation. I've discovered towns that felt like ghost stories with a pulse. I've eaten pie in roadside diners where the waitress called me hun and poured coffee like it was a sacred ritual. I've pulled over just to watch the sun pour gold over empty fields, or to talk with an old man who once raced flat track in the 70s. A quick ride to the hardware store? That's a pretext. A gateway. A launch pad to detours and back roads that don't show up on Google Maps. The destination isn't the point. It never was. When I get home and she says, "Why did it take you 2 hours to buy screws?" I could lie, or I could tell her the truth, that I chased a road I'd never seen, that I lost track of time under a canopy of trees, and that I stopped at the top of a ridge just to sit in silence. But she wouldn't get it. For her, the screws were the task. For me, the ride was the reward. The motorcycle makes the world feel bigger again, less predictable, more alive. Marriage, for all its structure and safety, is a journey with clear lanes. The bike is for when you want to color outside the lines. Reason 3, personal identity. This bike isn't just something I ride, it's part of who I am. Before I was a husband, before I was the guy who forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer. I was a rider, not someone who owned a motorcycle, someone who lived on one. It wasn't a phase, and it's never been a hobby. It's a core piece of my identity. Motorcycles have always symbolized something bigger than just transportation. Their freedom, rebellion, individualism, a loud, defiant refusal to conform. Cars keep you enclosed, surrounded by cup holders, Bluetooth, and crash ratings. Bikes strip all that away. No distractions, no padding, just you exposed to the world, completely present. Marriage changes you. You start saying "we" a lot. We are going to this wedding. We decided to paint the guest bathroom sage green. We think it's time to get serious about meal planning, and that's fine. That's love. But in the middle of all that togetherness, it's easy to lose the me. My bike brings it back. Every paint chip, every scuff on the tank, every bolt I've turned myself, it all reflects my journey. The sound it makes, the way it handles, even the quirks, they say something about me. That I'm still wild enough to take risks, that I haven't been completely sanded down by suburban life and HOA meetings. My wife calls it loud, impractical, selfish sometimes, but to me, it's a rolling monument to the part of me she fell in love with in the first place. The man with a little edge, a little danger, someone not fully tamed. The bike doesn't just remind me who I am, it makes sure I don't forget who I was. And sometimes, that's exactly what I need. Reason 4. Community and camaraderie. This one's hard to explain if you've never ridden. When you're on two wheels, you're part of something bigger, a brotherhood, a tribe, a code. It doesn't matter what you ride, how much it costs, or what patch is on your jacket. One knot on the road says it all. I see you. I get it. Ride safe. It's not about small talk or social calendars. It's about that unspoken bond. My wife has her book club. They sip wine, debate plot twists, and laugh about imaginary people. And hey, that's great, but my version of that looks like a gas station parking lot at 9 p.m. Guys in leather, kicking tires, swapping stories without ever needing to raise their voices. The biker community is built different. We don't need name tags or shared hobbies. We need trust, and it shows up fast. I remember breaking down on a remote road, no cell service, hours from anything resembling civilization. Before I could even cuss properly, 3 riders pulled over. No introductions, no "what's in it for me?" Just tools out, sleeves up. An hour later, my bike was back to life and we were sharing a flask like we'd ridden together for years. When I told my wife, she blinked. "So you hung out with a bunch of greasy strangers in a ditch?" "Yeah, and I'd do it again tomorrow." What she doesn't see is the silent code we all ride by. Respect, support, and showing up without being asked. That kind of bond doesn't need explanations or anniversaries to be valid. It just is. My wife loves me, sure, on the condition I check certain boxes. The community, they accept me unconditionally, as long as I keep the rubber side down and the throttle open. Reason 5, throttle therapy. They call it throttle therapy for a reason. For me, it's not a hobby, it's a lifeline. Riding isn't just about getting from point A to B, it's mental clarity on wheels. The moment I fire up the engine, something shifts. That familiar rumble drowns out the mental noise, and suddenly, everything that felt overwhelming becomes quiet. You can't dwell on deadlines or passive-aggressive emails when you're leaning into a corner reading the road, feeling every vibration through the bars. It's not escapism, it's presence. On a bike, your brain doesn't have room for stress. It's too busy keeping you alive and connected to the moment. I've had days where I came home so tense I couldn't sit still, pacing, snapping, completely wound up. 1 hour in the saddle, I'm back, calm, focused, human again. And it's not just in my head, there's science behind it. Studies show that even a short ride can lower cortisol, increase alertness, and boost mood. It's a rolling dopamine dispenser. My wife's method for stress relief? Talking it to death. We'll have conversations meant to help that somehow end in a spreadsheet of my shortcomings. I walk in angry and walk out with more to worry about. I get that she means well. But sometimes, words aren't the answer. The bike doesn't ask me to explain myself. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't sigh. It just gives me space. A moving meditation where the wind scrubs my brain clean and the road puts everything into perspective. A ride doesn't fix everything, but it gives me the mental room to handle everything. A talk with my wife? That often ends with me needing another ride. And so the cycle continues, literally. Reason 6, mastery and skill. There's something deeply satisfying about mastering a machine that could toss you like a rag doll if you don't show it the proper respect. A motorcycle isn't just a tool, it's a partner, and building that relationship takes time, patience, and skill. You learn its sounds, its quirks, its limits. You tune the carb and suddenly it breathes better. You spend a weekend adjusting your suspension, and now it handles like it's reading your mind. You put in the effort, and the bike responds with precision. There's pride in that. Progress you can see, feel, and hear. With the bike, the rules are clear. The physics don't change. The consequences are honest. When you mess up, the bike lets you know, but it also lets you learn. Marriage? Not so much. One day I nail it. I say the right thing, do the dishes, put the throw pillows back in the exact configuration that would make an interior designer weep with joy. I get a smile, a kiss, domestic peace. The next day, same routine, different outcome. I'm suddenly guilty of some mysterious emotional crime I didn't even know was on the books. The towel I used was the guest towel. Apparently, that's a thing. The dishwasher strategy? Outdated. She changed it. Forgot to update the husband. With the bike, it's cause and effect. With marriage, it often feels like trial and error in a funhouse mirror. Riding gives me a sense of control in a world that constantly shifts the goalposts. It's a challenge I can conquer, a skill I can build, refine, and take pride in. It rewards my focus, my precision, and my effort. Understanding torque curves is hard, but not nearly as hard as decoding why she's mad I left a spoon in the sink. Give me the bike every time. Speaking of challenges, I've got to ask you all. We're halfway through my list, and I need to know, what's the biggest source of tension between your passion, be it a bike, a car, or a hobby, and your partner? Drop it in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone out here. Reason 7. Unconditional acceptance. Some things in life just feel easier, calmer, more forgiving. That's what the bike gives me. Unconditional acceptance. No strings, no passive-aggressive questions, no hidden subtext, just metal, fuel, and the kind of silence that doesn't need to be filled. My motorcycle has never rolled its eyes at me, never asked where I've been or who I was with. It doesn't care if I had one too many with the guys, if I'm in a mood, or if I forgot to clean the garage. It doesn't expect flowers or perfectly timed apologies. It doesn't want to talk. It just wants gas, oil, and the open road. Give it those and it's good. Every time. Just last month, I spent an entire Saturday rebuilding the front forks, the kind of job that's part patience, part brute force, and 100% messy. I came inside, oily, sore, and proud. I'd accomplished something. My wife stepped into the garage, looked me up and down, and said, "Are you going to shower before you sit on the couch?" No, nice work. No, that looks awesome. Just concerned for her furniture. Meanwhile, my bike sat there in the corner, gleaming under the garage light. No complaints, no judgment. It felt like the only one who actually appreciated the effort, and that's what it comes down to. The bike accepts me exactly as I am. Grimy hands, short fuse, stress lines and all. It doesn't want me to be better, calmer, neater, more emotionally available. It just wants to ride. In a world where I'm always adjusting to be more acceptable, the bike lets me just be. And sometimes that kind of space feels more like love than anything else. Reason 8, aesthetic and sensory pleasure. Some people ride for convenience. I ride for the experience, the full body, all 5 senses kind. There's nothing like the raw physicality of being on a motorcycle. The engine doesn't just make noise, it vibrates through your chest, rumbles up through your boots, and hums in your hands like it's alive. You feel the road. Every dip, every curve, every subtle shift in texture. You don't smell your air-conditioned air freshener, you smell the world. Cut grass, hot pavement, distant rain, a campfire from somewhere off in the trees. You don't sit behind a pane of glass looking at scenery, you're part of it. Riding isn't just motion, it's immersion. And then there's the bike itself, a mechanical work of art. The way the tank curves, the flash of chrome catching late-day sun, the aggressive lean of the frame. I can stand in the garage and just look at it like someone else might study a sculpture in a gallery. It's beauty with a heartbeat. Now compare that to my wife's idea of sensory pleasure. A $40 candle labeled Ocean Breeze, which smells like if a linen closet caught fire at a chemical plant. Her idea of beauty? A beige wall, maybe with a eucalyptus print. Calming, she says. Sterile, I think. The bike is the opposite of that. It's bold, loud. It doesn't apologize for taking up space. It doesn't blend into the background. It dares you to feel something. And in a world that's constantly trying to dial everything down, the bike cranks it up. Life shouldn't always be muted, color-coordinated, and polite. Sometimes it should be wild, loud, chrome-covered, and burning rubber into the sunset. That's not just riding, that's living. Number 9, control. Pure, glorious control. On my bike, I make every decision. and the machine responds with precision. My lean becomes its lean. My twist of the wrist becomes speed. My instinct becomes motion. There's no delay, no discussion, no compromise. Every corner I carve, every downshift I time just right. It's all me. Riding isn't just movement, it's command. A quiet, focused kind of authority that most of us rarely get to experience in our daily lives. Now contrast that with marriage. Marriage is about surrendering control. It's endless negotiation dressed up as partnership. What's for dinner? Let's check the group chat. What movie are we watching? Let's flip a coin, or better yet, scroll Netflix for an hour until we agree we're too tired to start anything. Simple decisions get dragged into the mud of mutual agreement. It's not bad, it's just exhausting. Like trying to drive a car where both people have a steering wheel. But the bike? On the bike, I'm not negotiating, I'm deciding. If I want to take the long way home, I take it. If I want to ride to nowhere with no plan and no one to consult, I just go. No votes, no vetoes, no compromise. For those few hours, I'm not someone's husband, handyman, or emotional support animal. I'm a man alone with a machine and the open road. I don't have to explain or justify, I just ride. That kind of autonomy is rare, it's refreshing, it's freedom in its purest form. And sometimes, after a week of shared calendars, honey-do lists, and polite debates over curtain rods, what I need most is a ride where the only voice that matters is my own. Reason 10. The ultimate escape from conflict. Let's be honest, sometimes the smartest thing a man can do is leave. Not storm out, not slam doors, just leave. Get space, get air, get clarity, and that's what the motorcycle gives me. It's not just a mode of transport, it's my conflict de-escalation tool. My escape pod when things are on the verge of going nuclear. Every couple fights, it's inevitable. And it's never just about what you're arguing over, it's about what came before, what wasn't said, what was said wrong, and what time of the month it is. The fight starts over dishes and ends somewhere near childhood trauma. The temperature rises, logic goes out the window. Her approach, talk it out. Endlessly, loudly. While following me from room to room like I'm the villain in a psychological thriller. Me? I take the smarter route. I say nothing. I walk into the garage, grab my helmet, and disappear. The moment the engine fires up, something inside me calms down. The mechanical growl cuts through the noise in my head. My thoughts slow. My heartbeat sinks to the rhythm of the road. I don't rage ride. I don't take risks. I just breathe. It's just me, my bike, and the asphalt. An hour later, I return, not angry, not defensive, not itching for round two, just clear and ready to actually talk or maybe even laugh about it. The bike didn't fix the problem, but it kept me from making it worse. And that's the thing people don't get. It's not avoidance. It's not running away. It's a strategic retreat, one throttle twist at a time. Sometimes the best way to find peace in a relationship is to take a solo ride. And finally, reason 11, shared history and memories. To someone who doesn't ride, it probably sounds strange, sentimental even. But ask any rider and they'll tell you, you form a bond with your bike. Over the years, it becomes more than just a machine. It becomes a witness, a companion, a kind of silent co-pilot for some of the most unforgettable moments of your life. This bike has carried me through seasons of change. It's been there for the highs, those spontaneous weekend rides just because the weather was perfect, or the celebratory cruise after landing a new job. It's also been there for the lows, after hard days, heartbreak, or loss when I needed silence, not sympathy. It never asked questions, never needed an explanation, just offered the road and the time to breathe. I've taken it on solo camping trips, across state lines, through unexpected storms, and along roads I'll never forget. Every bug splatter on the headlight and every scrape on the tank. That's a story, not a flaw. That's proof of a life lived at throttle. Sure, my wife and I have shared memories too. Vacations, holidays, dinners with friends. But let's be honest, a lot of those memories come with baggage. Arguments over where to go, what to pack, what we could afford. The memories with the bike, they're pure, uncomplicated, mine. They aren't about compromise, they're about connection. Between me, the road, and the machine that's taken me further, literally and emotionally, than almost anyone else ever has. This isn't just a vehicle, it's a vault of everything I've seen, felt, and survived. And when I fire it up, those memories ride with me. Every time. So there it is. 11 reasons for an obsession that isn't really an obsession at all. It's a relationship, it's a source of freedom, identity, and therapy that nothing else can match. So Do I love my motorcycle more than my wife? That's the wrong question. It's like asking if you love food more than water. You need both to survive. So, if you're a rider who gets it, hit that like button, drop a comment with your own reasons, and let me know. What does your bike give you that no one else can? And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell, because I've got more raw, real moto stories coming your way. Until next time, keep the rubber side down, the throttle open, and your soul loud. Ride safe, ride true, and we'll see you on the next ride.